While doctors struggled through the pandemic, so did those of us stuck at home. There are really only so many hours of Netflix that you can watch and so many walks around the neighborhood you can take or catch up phone conversation with friends you can have before you start to really lose your grip. And for Boston Globe travel writer Christopher Muther, home was both where he rode out his lowest moments and found salvation. In one of his latest for the Globe, he looks back on the early days of COVID when he and his husband, who's a doctor fighting the disease on the front lines, found their dream home just when they needed it most. He now credits the house and the renovations that they made to it with bringing him back to his feet, writing, "I thank the house every night for the first year we lived there. I like to think that if it could, the house would say, thank you, the way that I often thank the house for saving me." Christopher joins me now for more on that journey and some travel trips for your next one. Christopher, welcome. It's so great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to see you, Sue.
And thanks so much for sharing in that article, talking about our mental health, your mental health. And before we jump into the house aspect of it, what does Catherine Zeta-Jones have to do with you?
Back in 2011, Catherine Zeta-Jones was on the cover of People magazine talking about her private battle with bipolar 2, which I thought maybe it's not a private struggle if she's on the cover of People magazine talking about it. So bipolar 2 is sort of a variation of the bipolar we all know. It means the depressive periods are a little longer and the manic episodes aren't quite as spiked. So to jump in and, talk about Catherine Zeta-Jones in context and not, Chicago or other things she's done. At the same time that she was on the cover of People magazine revealing her diagnosis for bipolar 2, I was also diagnosed with bipolar 2. And, over the years, that was 2011. So over the years, I managed to find medications that help me and allow me to sort of function day to day as well as any of us can. But I think that brings us up to the house in the pandemic, where during the pandemic, as many of us struggled, I think those of us who have mental illness might have felt it a bit more. And that was definitely the case for me.
And also, like you, when you have a job that has you doing things outside, folks asking a travel writer, so what's it like being stuck at home during the pandemic? I mean, I think I actually had you on one of my shows and asked you, what's it like, Christopher? Now I feel bad. Being stuck at home.
I was referring to you, Sue, in that particular line.
But the house that you and your husband, found and purchased, which we could go into, I'm sure, a whole nother episode as to the trauma and delight of doing that. What was it about the renovations of the home that really kind of felt your soul and kept you grounded?
I feel like we found this house. We're in Metro West now. We found it in sort of the lower points of the pandemic. We found it in the summer of 2020. We moved in November 2020. And before that time, I'd been really struggling, as a travel writer who's grounded, thinking I would probably get fired any day because who needs a travel writer during a pandemic? And then also just kind of losing my sense of identity because, your job is often kind of connected to who you are, or often you feel that way. So when the house came along, it took us out of South Boston where we were living, and it sort of gave me room to breathe. And at the same time, it gave me the distraction that I definitely needed. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Christopher, that it's also, in my experience, also with, my challenges and the people around me, finding where your special power, where, your mental health orientation is kind of how I look at it, where you can best use those positives. I mean, I think every person I know who is on the bipolar spectrum does great stuff with their house, right? Or great stuff with their yard, or great renovations. I'm on the attention deficit disorder spectrum. I don't have the attention to do any of that, so I'm always amazed. But do you feel like it really is taking your mental health orientation and using it as a superpower?
I mean, it's an interesting question. I feel like maybe on the manic swings, it helps a lot. I often joke that that's when our house is the cleanest, when I'm experiencing a manic episode. But I think really kind of my superpower in all of this was I was someone who was never home before the pandemic. And suddenly I was home so much that I kind of became obsessed with the idea of it. Once I sort of got through the trauma of being home, then I kind of loved it. And so then, the house really became the center. And I feel like that's when sort of I'd found my groove. The other thing too is the house is a 1965 deck house, and I often refer to it as the Brady House because it has that kind of great look about it, and I'm obsessed with anything mid-century related. So it really just gave me the perfect springboard. And also, I'm a really kind of intense person when it comes to research because of my job. And I went off the rails researching mid-century furniture for the house, which is what saved me through the 2020 election. I had that distraction leading up to it.
And you ended up with a beautiful bathtub. We ended up, with a president, and you ended up with a bathtub. I think it's even. It works out. I think it's fine.
I would trade the bathtub, but that's another story.
Well, thank you for sharing it. It really is helpful to all of us. Let's switch gears and talk about Logan Airport. There's this big red building there. Apparently, Boston has a color, and apparently it is part of our new Generation 4 Logan Airport. What's going on there?
Well, I spoke with the architect of the building, which is very kind of Jetsons-esque. I think it kind of looks like a spaceship that's landed at Logan, but I kind of love it too because it's so distinct. The architect, his name is Luis Vidal. He is based in Madrid, but he also bought a house in Boston through this process because he just liked the city so much. One of the things he did was he patented a color, Boston red, which he based on things like the bricks, sunsets, even the Red Sox. So he spent 3 days in a lab in Switzerland coming up with a color that he thought would work. And so it's Boston red. No one else can use this color unless they have permission from him.
It was also interesting in your article in the Globe about his perspective on the passengers and who they belong to, which I was really struck that, the city thinks passengers belong to us, the airports, the airlines, and yet he makes the argument that when you're making a terminal, the passenger belongs to the passenger and they should be front and center in it.
Yeah, the thing about, as you know, terminals have kind of evolved over the years. And I think the one that I've kind of most lived through has been the terminal as shopping mall. With, sort of limited dining options, not a lot of, it's a hit or miss when it comes to finding outlets to plug in. It's getting better, but still a bit hit or miss. So if you need to do work. So the idea of the fourth generation airport is that now the passenger sort of has control, that they can decide what they want to do. It's not all stores. It's not just a series of uncomfortable benches at the gate. There's, the idea is there's sort of private areas, like a nook you can kind of hide out in. There's also an idea, which I didn't get into in the story, about incorporating more trees, plants, all of that, which calms people down they found through research. So yeah, the idea is that the passenger can make the decisions. The passenger belongs to no one. But, at the same time, that's the fourth generation airport. But they found that when people are in, they have that feeling, they spend more. So it worked out for everybody.
So as I'm complaining about all the stores, I'll be happy about it and just spend more money. All right. So you also did an article recently from the Air Advisor founder, Anton Radchenko, about the best drinks to drink on the airplane. I was hoping it'd be filled with alcohol. We've just got a little bit of time left, but I'm now so thrilled to find out why people drink tomato juice, which they could get at home, but don't, and are thrilled to drink it on the airline. Why are people drinking tomato juice, Christopher
I mean,
Mather?
isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
I've always wondered why people order tomato juice. It has something to do with our taste buds change with the altitude because the pressure, so our noses, the idea is that technically we feel like we have a cold when we're in the air because it's replicating that and drying us out. So there's something about the taste of tomato juice that people crave when they're in the air. And normally mine, of course, is with vodka.
Yeah.
Theirs is not. So people just get cans of it for some reason. I have no idea why.
Yeah, it always used to crack me up. Also, scotch and soda's on the list, so you'll be covered. Well, Christopher,
Yeah.
whether you're in the skies, in a terminal, traveling, or at home in your bathtub, I appreciate you joining us and sharing your insights and also directing everyone to your great stuff over at the Boston Globe. Christopher Mather, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.